Welcome, everyone. It's episode 333 Aussie Tech Edge. Yes, it's another Thursday night. And tonight, the 21st of March, 2013. Hope you all had a great St. Patrick's Day, whenever that was, 4 days ago. If you can remember it. So I hope that went down well. And we're here tonight with another great show of news and a couple of views. And maybe a review or so, well, whatever. We bring you all the latest tech news that will interest us, and we hope that interests you as well. So you can catch us every Thursday night live, aussietechheads.com.au/live. You can catch us to iTunes download with the audio, or off the front page, aussietechheads.com.au, there's a video, and you can click on that and see the video, and that video is up every Friday. All right, so let's get into it. Will and Shane join us tonight. Eric is under the pump once again, but Will and Shane are here. Hi, Will. How you doing?
How do?
What's going on with you?
Yeah, usual stuff. Nothing spectacular.
Yeah, you're looking pretty relaxed there. You look like you're sitting back in the chair, just chilling.
It's my. It's hard to take my camera.
Please go back. Don't let me interrupt your nice little slumber.
It's that high quality Microsoft camera I bought. See.
Right now, you were telling me before the show that you've built a new system. Is this what we're up to?
No, what I was saying is, remember a few weeks ago I was having all these problems with it, so I built a new system a few weeks back. But just before the show started, or as I literally clicked on the Hangout to join the Hangout, my computer crashed. And I'm like, that's odd. It hasn't done that since I built it. Keeping in mind I built it 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then I realised, hang on, I haven't actually restarted it since I built it. So
that's got to be a record for Windows, hasn't it? A month. How long was it? Last week?
It'd be about 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, right. Wow. So everything's back to normal this week. There's Shane's here. Hi, Shane. There's no blackouts there tonight, is there?
No, I'm prepared. I've got my young son on the treadmill, running away, keeping the power going.
Oh, good. We did try last week. If you probably tuned in live, you wouldn't have got it on the recorded section. But if you tuned in live, you would have saw Shane's attempt at a 3G hookup, but that just didn't work, did it? It looked like he was telling ghost stories, and then he just died. He just was just nothing. But anyway, it's all go tonight. So look, what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into the Runtastic and give away another 2 codes for the Runtastic Pro app. It's iOS and Android. Apparently, it all works in the Android. Now, I know I think one of the winners from the other week contacted me and said he couldn't find out where to put the code in the Android. Well, I still don't know myself. But as soon as I find out, I will let you know. I promise. I'll suss that out this week for you. But the iOS, apparently, you load up the light version, and then there's a spot in there somewhere you put the code in. So all right, now, but before we get to that, we just want to just run through just a couple of other things. The Tech Radio, it's back up. It's aussietechheads.com.au/radio. I'm building another site dedicated to the radio, but just go there for now. If you want to do the paper, comes out twice a day at aussietechheads.com.au/paper. And hosting, you want to build a blog or a web page or whatever you want to do. You want to do a survey, host your own survey. You can do that. You can install a survey script. You can host it. And you've got cheap plans from $5.95 a month. So that's pretty cheap, and it goes up to $10. And if there's no plan there that suits your needs, give me a yell and we'll work something out for you. But good, reliable hosting, Sydney-based service, so they are fast. They're so fast, I can't see them. All right, now let's go. Runtastic. Okay, now before we give away the code, there's a special event with Runtastic. Now, it's coming up on the 31st of March 2013. Now, if you don't know what the Runtastic is, it's an app for your iPhone or Android. It's GPS personal training tracker, if you know what I mean. So, you load it up, you go for a walk or a run or a jog or whatever. It tracks where you are, all your route details and how fast you've gone and times and all this sort of stuff. You can buy accessories for it even. You can get this little Bluetooth strap that you wrap around yourself, and it takes your heartbeat, and it's going crazy. Now, look, we and Runtastic got together because they want to give a couple of codes away, and we said yes, why not? Because I understand that I sit in front of the computer too much, and you do probably too. So we need to get moving. Shed some of those excess kilos and get cracking. And what's this going here? I don't know what that means. On Friday, the 31st of March, 2013. So it's just an SMS that come through. Hang on, let me read this. It could be vital importance from the guru of that. Wait for Saturday. I don't know what that means. All right, on March the 31st, 2013, between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. your local time, Runtastic Pro users and supporters will engage in one of the fittest hours of online sport activity known to man. How's that? During the specified time period, participants and supporters, which are online cheerleaders, so you can turn your app on to accept like online cheering, and people can buzz you and go, yeah, go, Glenn, go, run, go faster. And so your supporters will get the opportunity to join the Cheer Me to Sydney online fitness event. So participants need only go for a walk, a ride, or a bike ride for a minimum distance of 3 kilometres during the 1 hour time period. So March 31st, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So apparently it just doesn't matter. Don't worry about time zones. It's just your local time. Okay. So if you're in Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, it's just 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So they must sort that all out over there. So you go for a run, a 3K run. By using the Runtastic cheering feature, your supporters will have the chance to cheer you on, motivate you, and help you win. The participant that receives the most cheers from his or her supporters during the 1 hour online event will be the winner. The winner and a guest will have flights, accommodation, and race entry provided for 2 individuals, and you'll be going to Sydney for the City to Surf. There you go, on Sunday, August 11. So, woohoo. So if you live in Sydney, well, don't worry about the flights, but you'll get the accommodation if you're lucky. All right, so that's all. That's what Runtastic's doing. Now, we've got a couple of pro codes to give away, another couple tonight. Now, I've got me little bingo thing here. Now, Will's got the list. Has he?
Oh, yeah. I probably should get that, I suppose.
Yeah, go get the list, Will, because here come the numbers.
Where's the...
Now, what you have to do if you want to win one of these, you tweet anything, just anything you like. It could be just A, B, C, D, but you got to follow us and tweet anything with #Runtastic in it, and you'll go in. You could be your name could be on one of these balls. Okay, here we go. First winner, and we'll just get two out at once just to save time. All right, here we go. These two right here. Okay.
You're going to confuse me by giving 2 numbers.
Well, I'll give you one at a time.
Oh, okay then.
Okay, now it's number. Oh, it's an early one. So someone got in early. Number 14. Number 14.
Did you just move away from your mic, or have you just gone really quiet? Because I actually can't hear you.
Number 14.
Oh, crikey. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Hi.
No. Number 14.
14.
Who would that be?
Well, this is confusing. This is confusing because 14 is 68.
Oh, how does that work?
It's at the okay. It's 60 68 8. It's at SIXTY 68 EIGHT. Really?
Okay. Well, you
60.
Okay, you better send that one to me. Okay.
8.
All right. And okay, congratulations, 68. And here's number 48. Number 48. Who we got for number 48?
Number 48 is Juna, ARJUNA, Juna, 45.
All right, good on
so
you.
Almost made it.
Yeah, good on you guys. So I'll contact you via the Twitter, and we'll get you those codes. And look,
so if you're 48 or 73 or whatever it was, you're 45 and 68. So there you go.
I'm totally confused. Will send them to me. Okay. All right, good stuff. Now, all right, so that's out of the way. So yep, we'll get you those codes before the 31st. What's the date today? The 21st. So there's going to be another 2 codes next week. So still have a chance to get in there, get the pro version, enter that competition. Good stuff. All right. Okay. Now, thanks to Tech Webcast, you would have heard before the live show, techwebcast.info, and they let us replay the show before the live show. How's that? So if you want to hear them recorded, just download them. All right. Well, let's move it. Let's go, Shane. What do you've got your this week in tech history?
Yes, I do.
Good.
I have I've changed my source of supply when it comes to this thing because where I usually got it from Wired, that didn't actually have anything worth anything this week. So I've gone to Tom Merritt's Chronology of Tech So the first one is March 12, 1790. John Frederick Daniel was born. He would grow up to invent the Daniel cell, a battery that supplied an even current during continuous operation, thus making the battery power practical.
So I guess
I don't know whether you want to kind of add to that, Will, or not.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
you're
what? Don't look
the
at me.
You're the battery dude.
you're the battery man. No,
yeah.
he's got nothing.
I've heard of it. That's about the end of it. But yeah, I mean.
So I guess that's.
Having said that, their batteries haven't really come all that way. They've got smaller, but they still suck.
Well, I guess that's where the cell name came from. So yeah, invent the Daniel cell. So there you go. And what else you got there, Shane? What else happened?
March 14, Albert Einstein was born
Oh, well, there you
in some place in Germany.
Oh.
I can't pronounce it. It's in my show notes.
What year?
Sorry?
What year?
In 1879.
Oh, okay.
I said that. March 14, 1879. Albert Einstein was born. Obviously, he would grow up to become the most famous physicist on the planet.
Yeah, didn't he make beer fizzy or something?
That was young
He
Einstein.
might have done that
so
He started out working in the patent office, actually, I think.
He did, and he died in the 1950s, I think. So yeah, but he was young Einstein put the bubbles in the beer. Will, that's where you're getting confused.
So who played the violin?
I don't know, a violinist. Now, and what happened? What else? And
On the same day?
yes, what else happened there?
On the same day, March 14, 1994, Linus Torvalds posted to compos.linux, depending on how you pronounce it, to announce that Linux kernel 1.0 had arrived. So it was the first version of the kernel of Linux, and it's now grown to be 1,000 different varieties of the same thing.
Now, how do you pronounce it, Shane? Linus?
I usually go Linux, yeah.
Will?
That actually, we pronounce it Linux, but there's actually a recording. You can find it if you hunt for it. And it's somebody actually asked Linus how you say it, and he said, I call it Linux because it's named after him. So even though we actually all call it Linux, it is actually called Linux.
Well, Linux sounds
Okay.
good, so that's how I'd call it as well. All right,
Yeah,
so if
well-
you want to see more of those what's on these day things, either go to the show notes. Oh no, not in the show notes because we've ripped them off Tom Merritt. So go to the chronology of tech, and you'll find them there.
Glenn, you went away again.
Yeah, you've gone quiet.
I've gone quiet again. How's that?
Lucky you bought something that doesn't have batteries, otherwise it'd be go flat all the time.
How's that? Am I back? Am I back?
Yep.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on there. It must be a loose wire. All right. Now, let's get into it. Now, I think...
So, do you want to do that Tom Merritt plug again?
Yeah, that whole thing.
does the whole thing go quiet, does it? I was going to say that those these stats things that Shane does, they're not in the show notes because we just rip them off Tom Merritt's chronology of tech site. So if you want to see more of those, go on over there and have a look. And he's okay with it. It's for everyone. It's open source or whatever you call it, Creative Commons. Okay, now my first story for tonight, I think, is one that Will's probably going to have a bit to say about. Well, he probably knows more than me anyway. So the Samsung Galaxy S4, it's come out, Will. What do you think?
It has. Yeah, it was launched last week. I can't remember, end of last week sometime. And there was live stream events. There was people going nuts over it. I haven't actually read much about it other than the specs. I haven't read any actual hands-on reviews yet, really. It does have an 8-core. Well, they claim to have an 8-core processor, but it's sort of it is, but it's more really a quad-core. It has a normal quad-core A15, which a lot of the 1.6 gig processor, which a lot of them have. Well, and then it also has a 1.2 gig quad-core A7 processor to bump up the speed. So it has 8 cores, but they are varying speeds. And from what I can gather, they're not actually all used at the same time. It's certainly not flat out.
Well, they reckon...
Are we talking about the S4?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard that different countries were getting different versions of the phone.
Well, that's what I was about to say, yeah. Because... if you read, well, I think Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia are all getting the same phone, and then America and some of the other places are getting a different one.
It's a bit crazy, isn't it? But apparently, the one that is getting released in the US, which is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 quad core running at 1.9 gigahertz, is at benchmark as the fastest phone in the world. Have you heard that?
Well, I read that, but it doesn't really make sense because I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if it's I haven't seen any real world usage of that specs. Put it that way, because there's like my phone is a quad core 2 gig or 2.2 gig or whatever it is. So I guess time will tell. Look, there's absolutely no doubt that it's going to be a powerhouse because Samsung does that. It's going to be an amazing phone. So it's just going to be interesting to see. And the other thing is too, do you really need that much power in a phone? I mean, I guess if it's plugged in, yeah, but how's it going to kill your battery, if you...
Well, they reckon it's not too bad, but yeah, I suppose time will tell. Time will tell. Look, there's a heaps of new features, but as far as I can see, most of the features are just rubbish anyway. Like there's one eraser shot, which means you take a photo at burst rate, so you can take someone out of the frame. Like there's dual.
That comes in handy when relationships break down.
Well, you do a burst, so you sort of like move it across to get the person out, and then you pick the best picture or something. Dual recording and dual shot, it records you as you're taking it or something. So I don't know. There's a lot of.
Yep. I mean, a lot of this stuff will be available on the more powerful phones like the Note 2 and things like that with the new updates because the phones are powerful enough to do it. So a lot of the stuff they're touting isn't phone specific, it's software specific, and that software will be available. Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's going to be interesting. I certainly would love to get my hands on it to play with it. Whether or not, I guess if you've got the original Galaxy or even the S2, then yeah, okay, it'd be a decent upgrade. If you've already got an S3 or a Note 2, I really don't think people are going to be, snapping at to get it. So,
but
yes, we'll see.
So that's that one. Did everyone watch the launch?
No. Was it good?
Okay.
I watched bits and pieces of it, mainly on rerun.
The main complaint about it was how sexist it was.
Oh, why is that?
Oh, okay.
Because it was a big Broadway kind of production thing, and it was really kind of... it came across on the video as really bad acting and overacting, but it might... I mean, that might be what Broadway's like, I don't know. But just how they described the features, and it was... They said things like... Because it's got a feature where you don't actually have to touch the screen. Right. You can just wave your hands over it, and they sort of said, oh, that'd be great. Like one of the girls said, oh, that'd be great because I hate touching the screen when I got wet nails, and just comments like that all the way through the whole presentation.
There's people getting upset about that. That's all right.
Oh, yeah. There was those. There were just like undertones, sexist. Well, other people have sort of said that there were sexist undertones throughout the whole thing.
I think everyone just needs to just take a chill pill. It's like, remember that event? Microsoft had an event up here on the Gold Coast, and everyone jumped up and down because they had girls parading around in bikinis. But who cares?
It's the Gold Coast. Hello.
That's right. They got meter maids. Who cares?
Well, no, they don't. They're trying to get rid of them too, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know. But I suppose. I think they've been trying to get rid of them since 1966.
That's true.
but thankfully, the ones at 1966 have moved on. But
they're different meter maids now.
That's right. They're not the same. They're not the same. Thank goodness. Otherwise, there would be an uproar. No, but there was a thing with Microsoft. They got into a bit of trouble. Well, I reckon it's just a bit of a waste of time. People just need to take a chill pill. You see ads on TV like there's sexism, and you see ads on TV that what you see a female actress would get away with an ad, you'd go, well, reverse that and pretend that was a guy doing the same thing, but to a female, you wouldn't get away with it. So I think it's just everyone just needs a chill pill and just get over it. All right, that's my rant for tonight. So what else we got coming out of Google? Aussie stores get the Google Chromebooks. You going to line up for one of them, Will?
No, but I would like to play with... Only because I can't afford one. But look, I'd love to play with one. For me, from what I do on a day-to-day basis, a book that, laptop, whatever it may be, that lives in the cloud is perfect for what I do, because everything I do is non-centralized and it's all cloud-based anyway. So whether it be the Chromebook, whether it be, any of that sort of stuff, for me it is perfect, and I think it'd be great. They're too expensive. They've got to come down in price because you don't have a laptop, really. You don't have all that power, and you don't have that local side of it, but
the Chrome OS has finally made its way to Australia. The official launch of Acer's C7 and Samsung's Chromebook, priced at $299 and $349 respectively. Now, it's a thin browser-based Linux variant that is designed to hook almost exclusively into Google services. So this means that it relies heavily on web connectivity and two models having varying levels of inbuilt storage. In Samsung's case, it's a minimal 16 gig, and in Acer's case, the C7 has a 320 gig hard drive. So that's not too bad, but I think when it comes down to it, it's just a lightweight Linux Google accessor. C7.
But see,
yes.
I was going to say, there's your problem. Like, that laptop is, what was it, 250 or something in the States, and that same laptop here is 350. And that's the problem. That's got to stop happening if they want these devices to sell properly.
Well, apparently, yeah. Well, I suppose. Well, I suppose you got to add a fair bit there for a little bit for shipping and handling. So, but I don't know about $100.
Well,
you're
not really,
right.
because they're made in China. They've got to be shipped to America. So what's the difference between shipping it to America and shipping it to Australia?
Don't know. I've never measured the distance.
But that's my point. I mean, whatever you're doing, you're shipping it out from a warehouse in China, so that becomes irrelevant at that point.
The C's. Yeah, sorry. Just sorry. You just keep going while Google just signs me out of the account. It does it every week. Every week, it just signs me out. I'm signed out now right now. Hang on, I'm signing back in.
Oh, dear.
La la la.
But yeah, I mean, there's a few Google stories tonight, so this isn't necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, they have to sort something like that out. Not just Google, Apple, all the manufacturers are doing this now, and they wonder why people are doing grey imports.
Well, that's right. But as I have said before, does Australia, a piddly little population in relation to the US population, and even Great Britain and Europe, why? Why do they want to pick on us? Like, it doesn't matter. We're so small. Like, it doesn't matter. Or is that because we're so small it does matter? But anyway, this C7 has a dual band. Oh, the Hangout just stopped as well. Isn't that nice? Look, blank. I don't know what's going on with this. Google just goes crazy all over the shop. Must be because we're talking about them. They must know. They must be monitoring us. They must have. All right, here we go. Here we're back. Are we back?
What'd you do?
I think we have to say good things about Google.
I know, that's what I think's going on. But anyway,
Stop picking on them.
we're going to forge on Google because C7, it has a dual band 802.11 B, G, and N Wi-Fi chip, as well as a gigabit Ethernet. There's also a HD camera for the Hangouts, 3 USB 2 ports. That's ripped. And a SD MMC card reader, HDMI, VGI. So it's not, it's probably not too bad, but for $250, I'd rather buy something else. Or $350, I'd rather buy something else. The C7 is due to go on sale today from both Acer's own acerstore.com.au website and selected JB Hi-Fi stores. Google's website points people to JB Hi-Fi and Harvey Norman to the Samsung Chromebook. There you go. But anyway, why would you want one? Send us one so we can play with it, and then we'll see how we go. But yeah, you're probably right. You're right. Well, it's not for me. It's not for me.
As I said, for what I do, it'd be perfect. I can keep it in the truck. I haven't got to worry about backing stuff up. I haven't, it's all done.
But you can do that with anything.
But, well, you can, yeah. But I mean, if I was going to spend a couple $100 on a laptop to do that, as I said, for $250, I'd buy one. For $350, I won't.
But that sort of ties in with with Dell. They've launched an 18-inch tablet that's also a desktop. So how good's that? This is the sort of thing that I want to get into. The XPS.
You want an 18-inch tablet?
Hey, why not?
You want an 18-inch tablet?
Why not?
Well, you're going to carry it around in two hands and carry the battery pack on a shoulder pack over your back, and then what?
No. We'll see. Well, it might be 18 inches, which is a decent size. Well, have you seen that Sony thing what is it? The Sony Vio, whatever you say it,
Wow.
Tap 20 or something. I've seen one of them, and they're not bad. They're a decent size. They're pretty heavy. You can
Aren't
sit.
they they're only like 12-inch though, aren't they?
No, I've seen a bigger one. I've seen
okay.
I've seen big ones. The XPS all-in-one desktop PC that doubles up as an 18.4-inch Windows 8 tablet. The XPS all-in-one weighs 2.5 kilos. That's not too bad. You could probably look walking around the street. You're probably not gonna just bob along with it, but sitting down in the lounge or sitting somewhere else having a coffee or something. Well,
Look, I'd love to have one. It'd be great.
Yeah.
That's right. It's not mobile in the traditional sense, but if you're a uni student, for example, you could take it just as a tablet, take it to classes, do your writing recognition, do your recording, do whatever you want to do, your web browsing to classes. Then after your class, take it back, dock it, and then you've got a fully functioning laptop with a keyboard and mouse and everything that you can use easily. So,
well, yeah,
I think it's good.
Yeah, I'd love one. Asus Transformer all-in-one, which also there's also an Asus Transformer. Now this has already been out. This is already out, which also has an 18.4-inch screen, but uses Android 4.1 when it's in the tablet mode. So you can use it as Windows 8 when it's in the PC mode or in the laptop mode, and then Android when it's in the tablet mode.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, I think you can actually change that as well, so you can have it either Windows or Android all the time. But so the thing with the Asus Transformer, it actually has another battery in the base station, so you get your normal 6 hours runtime in the tablet, and when you put it into the base station, you get another 6 hours. So, as I said, if you've been at class all day, and you've used your tablet and you've nearly flattened it, well, when you get back, you can chuck it in the dock and you can, go to the library or whatever and do your work in the library and get another 6 hours runtime. So,
yeah, I'm just trying to get you, for those on the video, get your little picture going here of one of those Dell things. There you go. Can you see that?
Can I ask a question about the Asus thing? Many, many moons ago, I bought an Asus, the first one that came out. And at the time, I thought I was actually getting the tablet part and the base station, but ended up only getting the tablet part. Can I go and buy the base station part separately from somewhere?
I think so. I think they're all the same dock. Because there was two levels. There was the entry level one, which was just the tablet, and then the Dira one had both. But I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, they're all the same connector.
Okay. So I could use one of the newer ones to work with my older tablet part. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I'm fairly sure. I'm waiting for... I thought somebody in the chat room had one. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Frosty. I don't know. I thought someone had one. They would have weighed in. But, yeah, I don't know. It's something that would be interesting to try and find out. Go into like Harvey Normal or something where they've got one and say, hey, can I try your keyboard?
Yeah. Why not? All right. Yeah. Now, Shane, did you have any... We'll come back. You've got some more Google stuff later, I think, Will.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've got another couple as well. So we'll go over to Shane and see what he's pulled out this week. What have you pulled out?
Well, in Eric's absence, I'll do kind of a semi-Apple story.
Yes.
Apple founder or Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak is a step closer to becoming an Australian. This has been kind of bubbling away for a while. He made waves or made comment on an earlier interview, probably about a year ago maybe, that he wanted to be an Australian citizen, mainly because of our NBN apparently. Although, given the uproar that happened in Canberra today, he might be changing his mind. But anyhow, moving on.
He might get a 457.
Yeah, he could do. So basically, he did another interview. This story is courtesy of news.com.au, and he did another interview recently where he's saying he's basically up to the medicals. He's going through the medicals because of what he does as a job, and speaking and all that kind of stuff. He's going to stay in America for the first little bit because it's just cheaper and easier to travel from America. But he obviously plans on moving over here permanently, buying a house, getting full set up. It didn't say exactly where he was looking at buying the house. And then the story just goes on to sort of say a bit about who he is and the fact that he was, co-founder of Apple and all that kind of stuff.
So he's not serious that the only reason, well, one of the big reasons is the NBN, surely. You're not going to
That's what he initially said.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. All right.
So,
Good on.
so if Liberal get in at the next election and then they rip it out, then he's going to be buggered.
I don't think they're going to rip it out, but who knows what they're going to do? Really, it started, so they'll probably finish it. Yeah. So now I had another Apple story while we're talking about apples and oranges. Now, my Apple one is the warranty. Now, I don't know if you saw this through the week. This, I think, came from Sydney Morning Herald. Now, the Apple warranty, Apple's Australian stores will now fix faulty iPhones, iPads and Macs under warranty if they were purchased in the past 2 years. Now, apparently what was happening is you go in and if you ever spoke to Apple about the warranty, you'd never get a 2 year. 2 years never came out of their mouth. It was only 12 months. 12 months this, 12 months that, 12 months here, 12 months there. But until now, many Apple consumers have reported on forums that store staff have only ever discussed with them the standard 12-month warranty. Now, that 12-month warranty is the warranty that is given in Cupertino, whereas apparently that's obviously legal or whatever, that breaks no trade laws or whatever. But over here, the warranty has to be a 2-year warranty. So Apple has now changed this from 12 months to 24 months, which appears to bring it in line with Australian consumer law. Often Apple company, so how is this? Like, even if you went into the store and stores with an item outside of the 12 months, Apple warranty have had to pay a fee to have their goods fixed or replaced. So you still have to pay a fee so that they would not... Geez, that's bad, eh? Apple's new policy applies to iPhones, iPads and other iOS devices as of Monday, according to a note on the Apple's reseller portal. It will apply to Mac products, Airs and Pros within a fortnight. Well, I don't know about it within a fortnight. If it's law, it's law, not when it suits them, surely.
It's actually, they don't have a choice, and they've always had to replace it under warranty. If you complain, they haven't had a choice because it has been federally mandated. The biggest thing is people don't realise there's a law in Australia. It has been it's been tweaked recently. I think a few months ago they tweaked it, but for the most part, it's been around for a lot of years, and it's called, I don't know what it's exactly called, but basically it's what you would get when you buy a product. It's an expected life. So if you buy a product expecting that it should last a reasonable amount of time. So say you buy a phone on a plan and you have a 2-year plan, well, you would reasonably expect that phone to have a 2-year warranty. Now, this has been in place for a lot of years, and not only with phones, but with things across the board, TVs, cars, batteries, whatever, you name it. And most people don't realise it's there. Now, I've used it a few times with even going back a few years to phones on plans. I'd buy a phone, I would get 18 months into the plan, the phone would fail, I'd take it back to them, say, you have to fix it. They say, no, we don't. I say, well, okay, you have to fix it, or I'll get, or I'll call the ombudsman and they'll make your life miserable.
You get the feds
I go,
on
yeah,
you.
no worries.
Yeah.
So once you push the point, they've all done it. I've done it with Apple, I've done it with Samsung, I've done it with HTC, Telstra, Optus. I've done it with a lot of different things for friends of mine who have had problems because they don't realise it. It's the same as if you buy a TV and the TV's got a 12-month warranty, but you pay $2,000 for it. Well, if you look at the other TVs on the market, most of them, let's say one of them's got a 5-year warranty for the same price, then you can say, well, reasonably, I would expect this TV to last 5 years. Here's one on the market that has a 5-year warranty. You need to fix it. So, yeah, it's an interesting law that's been around for a long time and not very known about. I'm quite surprised that it's made mainstream media, actually.
Well, I suppose...
It's not surprising that Apple's trying to get around it because they'll always try and get around replacing their dodgy products.
But does that mean that if they're so against... it gives the impression that if they're so against offering the 2 years, well, does that mean they're designed not to last 2 years? Is that what they're sort of saying?
Well,
here?
No,
what are they saying?
I think because in the States, I think they're only required to give you a 12-month warranty. They don't have the reasonable expectation. As far as I know, I don't know US law, but from what I can gather, they're only required to have a 12-month warranty. Now, if you buy the phone outright, and it comes with a 12-month warranty, it only has a 12-month warranty. But if you buy it on a 2-year plan, the device that you purchase on a 2-year plan is expected to last 2 years, because you're paying for that product. It's the same phone, but the difference is when you're on a 2-year contract, you're paying for that device to function for the 2 years that you have it. right? So if you don't have a functioning phone, they can't continue to charge you for the contract. So, which is why that's in place, that they'll go, they have to replace it, assuming it's not water damaged or, physically damaged like that. But if it just fails because, like the battery fails, for example, 18 months into 2 years, they have to replace it because you're on a 2-year plan. It does get a bit tricky, and you could probably argue that because phones have been covered with a 2-year warranty on a contract, then if you buy it outright, it should reasonably expect it to be last 2 years too. So it'd be interesting to see how that would stand up. I haven't had that happen because I don't know anybody who buys their phones outright.
Yeah, well, I don't think any product, doesn't matter if it's on a plan or not, outright or not. I think if that's a reasonableness test, well, then it has to go. I just can't understand why they've reported here that, for MacBook Pros and MacBook Airs, within a fortnight, we'll start off from that warranty. Like, hello, you're supposed to be doing it from now.
I think the warranty they don't have a choice, but I think they mean them at the... because you look at their website and it's only been the last couple of days they've started to roll out their website changes. So I think what that means is it'll be a couple of months or whatever it is before it's actually fully processed and they've got all their staff retrained and rebrainwashed and whatever it is they do. So
there's no warranty for drop phones. Now earlier,
so that's physical damage. That's different. That doesn't come under it because that's your fault.
That's right. It was. I did drop it.
Yeah.
Now, earlier we were talking about how stuff is cheaper overseas. And now if you want some of that action, Shane's got a story for you. Haven't you, Shane? Putting him on the spot all the time. Keeping him on his toes.
No, I'm ready. I know what you're talking about.
Good.
How to fake a US street address. Although, that would get around it, I suppose. Anyway, it's a story again from news.com.au. Online shopping, it goes on to sort of say how popular online shopping is. And it then goes on to say, well, if you want to get around the actual price differences, there's actually services available for you to do that. It mentions a few in the story. The ones that it mentions is Hop Shop Go. And there's another one called Forward to Me. And there was a third one. Basically, Price USA. They're, by and large, they're services, if you like, that are based in Australia. You buy the product through them. They actually then have people within, say, America that actually buy the product there and then ship it across to this company, and then they forward it on to you. They're basically like a forwarding kind of company. Now, I don't know.
I was going to say, I thought it worked a little bit different. I'm not sure how these ones go, but I thought it was when you actually purchase something, like you actually did the purchase yourself, and then you told it that US address, which happened just to be like a warehouse or something where these guys were, and then they'll then ship it over to you.
I'll read the bit about the first one it mentions, because the first one's actually backed by PayPal. So that's Hop Shop Go, backed by the payment service PayPal. Mail forwarding service covers a lot of bases. Once you sign up with the PayPal account, it gives you an Oregon Street address that you can use to buy goods yourself, or you can go through the site. So it looks like it works kind of both ways. And there's obviously a go-between or people in the middle that you tell your actual physical address to, and then they just forward it on. Now, how that would work with things like warranties and all that kind of stuff we've just been talking about, that could be a sticky point, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a legit way of getting stuff from another country at
things
prices, but I don't know how legit it is either.
Yeah, look, it's legit. It's legit. They've been
Your
around.
mic stopped working again, Glenn.
They've been around for ages. Can you hear me now? Oh,
yep.
I think these ones have been around.
Oh.
They've been. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
it's a bit staticky.
I think they've been around for ages, and they're good. But I think if you buy something technical from overseas, I don't know about that. You probably want to think about your warranty. But things like jeans or shoes or something like that, you buy them, bung them on the Hop Shop and Go, whatever it is, and away you go.
Most of the bigger tech companies at least have worldwide products, like Canon, Samsung, things like that. So they'll honour the warranty no matter where you are, as long as you're the original purchaser and it's your name on the receipt. That's about all they care about.
Yeah. So it looks like it says further on, it says users pay for repacking and shipping and are alerted when their orders arrive at their US location. So Price USA, the Australian-based service, is run by a husband and wife team. Well, there you go. I don't know how it's Australian-based, Price USA. But maybe... Oh, who knows? But anyway, if you go to
That's
the
just
show
what they
notes,
call it.
go to the show notes and check it out if you're interested in that. But if you want to get a US, because some places like Amazon, for example, they will only ship to America. So if you're in Australia, well, you get bubkus.
And what's with that? They've got an Amazon.com.au. If you go to Amazon.com.au, it works. Sure, it redirects to Amazon.com. But how hard is it to, there's more to the world than just the US. And I was actually on a site. I don't know if you've heard it. There's a thing called I think it's called the Little Printer. It's a neat little thermo printer that prints out cool stuff. But it's a UK-based business, and I was on their website the other day, and they only ship to the UK. I'm like, why?
Why?
The thing's 3 inches square. How hard is it to put it in a post bag?
Yeah, who would know? Who would know? But anyway, some of these places, they may not. I don't know. All right, so look, we've got a few more stories to get through, but I think we've got another review from Garth. He's got it's that time of the podcast, always around about the 40-minute mark. Old Garth likes to be played. He doesn't like wait until the end because he gets impatient. He doesn't like to be first. But he's...
Are you just telling people that so that they can skip all this and go straight to 40 minutes?
Well, they can listen to Garth anyway by himself, because after the show, he's got his own little bit on YouTube anyway. You don't have to watch the whole show. So it's just the Garth's review by itself. But you can also get it off the webpage, aussietechheads.com.au, and we'll go and have a listen to Garth. Welcome again to another iOS review. Review, I was going to say, and tip, but there's no tip this week, just another review. Tip's coming later, maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Another review, and we're off to the BBC. Garth, what do you got?
BBC iPlayer. So
Wow.
BBC Global, look, I don't know about you, but most of the shows I like that aren't Australian are from the BBC.
They're very good.
They are very good. So BBC iPlayer, it's a free app, and there's a little bit of free content in there. But let me tell you straight away, it's a paid-for service, okay? So it's a subscription-based thing, and it's not... I bought it. $90, I think it was, for a 12-month subscription, or $10 a month, something like that anyway.
Yeah, it looks like $9.49 a month or $89.99 for a year.
Yeah, there you go. So I had a bit of a look through the catalogue, and I plopped down $90 for the 12 months to give it a bell.
Nice.
And I'm actually really enjoying it because, of course, you can have it on as many iOS devices. My wife is enjoying it. So a lot, and I mean quite a lot of the BBC archive and current shows are available there. So free streaming whenever you like.
So you just load it up and you can stream pretty much, so could you load it up and
BBC
stream
content.
Are You Being Served?
Yep, I think that's in there.
Right.
I'm not sure, but there's certainly a lot of stuff from that sort of era. For example, all the Doctor Who, like every Doctor Who that they've got available is there.
I'm sold.
So it's all there. A nice thing about the app too, which puts it a bit over the ABC one, which is at least the ABC one's free. But a nice thing is you can download stuff to your device. You don't have to just stream.
Okay,
So
nice.
you can go in there and download a whole, like before we went away on our last holiday, I downloaded, a couple of episodes of various shows.
Yep.
So they're saved on the device.
Nice.
And watched them when we were away.
So now it's got a couple of good little features in it. More than 2,000 hours of British TV shows on demand, constantly refreshed, including 13 different genres.
Yep.
And it also goes on to say explore a selection of free episodes in the free section.
Yep.
And watch on your TV via HDMI adapter and cable or with AirPlay.
Exactly.
So,
So you've got your Apple TV, which I believe you do, my friend.
I do have.
Yep, you could chuck it straight to that and up on the big screen.
Sweetness. Now, enjoy high-quality video streaming over Wi-Fi or 3G, and browse contemporary programs. Subscribers can download programs. As Gar said, enjoy exclusive programs never before seen outside of the UK. Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, as I said, it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone likes to pay for their content. There's a few weird ones out here like me who are happy to pay for the content if I like it.
Oh yeah, look, if you're getting enjoyment out of it, you go and pay to see a movie.
Exactly.
So why would you?
Exactly.
Well, sometimes.
So I don't know.
Most of us.
For some reason, I'm if I pay $90 once off and I've got 12 months, I'll
Yeah.
do it. If I was having $10 coming out all the time, opposite to most people, I think most people are the other way around. But I chucked it down to give it a burl, and yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
Really
nice.
good.
So the latest version, or the last version that was out is the 30th of October, which was optimized for the iPhone 5. So it is iPhone 5 optimized.
Yep.
Now includes full use of the widescreen display and social media updates. You can use the Twitter global account to share with what you're watching with your friends.
Of course you can.
So,
what app doesn't allow you to send it to Twitter or
That's
Facebook
right.
or something?
That's
so
right.
no, the good thing, of course, with the subscription is, if you've got multiple devices, you only obviously have to get the subscription once, and then anyone can use it. Anyone on your ID can use it.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
so-
So as you can see there's quite a few selection of shows just in the graphic on the front page there in iTunes.
Yep.
You've got, for those on the audio, genres, science and nature, sci-fi. You've got classic period, The Firm, Warriors, Pride and Prejudice. Oh, all the favourites.
All the good old
Doctor
BBC,
Who,
yeah.
Equator. Oh, the whole lot.
I think the missus is watching Test of the Devils at the moment. Whatever the hell that is.
Right.
But,
And what's the quality? So it's H full like.
it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Good
Speaking as a blind person, I will have no freaking idea, but I think it's good. No, the good
stuff. What
thing.
you've been told, it's good.
What I've been told is good, and the thing I like is, as I said, that you can do the download.
Yeah.
So if you have got maybe slightly dodgy internet, you're not going to have buffering issues.
Right.
You can set a whole heap of episodes to download, so just let them download in the background, and then come along and watch them, and you're not going to have any buffering because they're all there on the device.
Now, as far as you're aware, when it's BBC iPlayer Global, are there other versions?
I think so. BBC have their own version in the BBC, which is much more like the ABC one. So they only have the last 2 weeks worth of content.
Right. Okay.
It's
right.
a free one that they can do the last 2 weeks of content type of deal. So
Right.
this is one for people outside of the UK.
Yep.
Who aren't paying their $2.23 to the BBC every month. That how the
Right. Yeah.
something they
The
do over
TV
there.
tax or whatever.
the TV tax that
Yep.
whatever they do over there.
All right,
I
good
guess
stuff.
you listeners over there can tell us. But
And they
yeah.
have. We had. I think it was Leon. Yes, he's written in and explained it
There you go.
all to us how it all works. So,
Excellent.
So that's
Thanks,
a couple.
Leon.
That was a while back now, but go back
So,
through the.
I
through
don't
the
know.
podcast.
Leon, let us know if you're out there listening. Let us know. Can you guys get this version of the app over there and pay for it to get unlimited streaming there? I
Good
don't know.
stuff. All right.
Thanks.
Another good one. Thanks, Garth. See you next
later.
time. All right. So thanks, Garth. Sounds like he's liking his BBC iPlayer. All right. Now let's get back into some stories. Shane, did you have something you want to continue on with?
I can do. I have a question about what Garth just covered, though,
Yes.
if that's all right. I know he only does iOS reviews, but
Yes.
is that thing available on Android?
I'd imagine so. I would imagine
Okay.
so. Will, do you know the answer to that?
There is a BBC player. I've seen it. Other than that, I can't help you.
I know the one that's on their website is geographically restricted.
Yeah, although you can get around that, but yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah, you can, yeah.
there you go. All right. All right.
Moving on.
Moving on. Now you've got an Android phone, have you, Shane?
Tablet.
Oh yeah. I'll just go to the Play Store. Have a play.
No, well, I just thought someone might have known off the top of the head.
That's your homework. Now, okay. Now Microsoft starts. Microsoft are going to start auto installing something. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, spyware and malware and all that.
Oh good.
No, Microsoft today, which was a couple of days ago, this is actually courtesy of Computer World. Microsoft today said that it would start automatically pushing out Windows 7 Service Pack 1 to customers as a last-ditch effort to get them to upgrade, because anything before that is no longer going to be supported as of next month. Windows 7 RTM, which is what the base model or the first version was kind of called, or released to manufacturers, what RTM stands for, including security updates and everything, will die after, or the support for it will die after April 9. And
We should
it
be.
then
You
goes
should be
on
moving
to-
on anyway. SP. You should be SP1 at least.
Yeah, should
Oh,
be.
jeez. Come on. If you're not, come on.
That's one. I'm not a huge fan of Windows upgrades, but that's certainly one that you should do.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, the story goes on to sort of say if you don't want the upgrade for whatever strange reason, you can turn automatic updates off, but then you miss out on other important updates like security kind of updates and stuff like that.
Oh, and Steve Gibson would turn in his grave if you were one of those people. Now,
Yeah,
so,
it would.
so that's good. Oh yeah, upgrade all the time. Now, talk about Microsoft Auto installing and stuff. How's this for a story? This is just on a side note. Skype in China is censored. Now, apparently, the Chinese version of Skype contains spyware that searches for blacklisted words and phrases, blocks instant messages that contain them, copies them to servers, and captures the rest of the IM chats that have been flagged in this way. And then men in big boots are sent around and you're gone. The spying and censorship is carried out with the knowledge of Microsoft, which owns Skype and its peer-to-peer communication software, and describes Tom Skype, which that's the name of it, Tom Skype. Tom is the Chinese wireless internet provider. So it's known as Tom Skype, as a modified version that follows Chinese regulations. According to a Skype support webpage, Tom Skype is a custom version of Skype used in China. As our majority joint venture partner, Tom Online provides access to Skype for Chinese customers using a modified version that follows Chinese regulations called Tom Skype. There you go. So, geez, they're pretty onto it over there in China, aren't they? You're not allowed to get away with too much. Look, there was examples of the words that it blocked, but I just don't have them here. But if you want to know more about that, yeah, as always, aussietechers.com.au/something or other, and find the show notes.
I have an anecdote that kind of matches up with that. Many moons ago, in a former life when I was an athlete, I went to China and back before digital cameras and all that kind of stuff, as a film camera I had, took a whole bunch of photos, made the mistake of getting it developed at the hotel I was staying at. Got all my photos back except for photos of flags, military kind of people, police, all that sort of. For some strange reason, those photos went missing as well as the negatives.
Oh, wow. How'd that make
Welcome
you feel?
to China.
Yeah, jeez. Why can't you take pictures of flags? What's wrong with flag?
Because it's not... You could be using it for desecration or anything.
Yeah, propaganda and all that kind of crap.
Because, you know, I don't know if it's actually law over in Australia or not, but if it's been done away with, but you were actually not allowed to take a picture of like a defence force building. Doesn't matter what it is.
I think they've changed. Well, I think they've changed that, and you're allowed to take a picture of anything that has no expectation of privacy. So, if you can see it from the street and you're not sticking a massive lens through a fence, then I think you can take a picture of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And
I think. Don't quote me on that. If you get sent to jail, it's not my problem.
Yeah. So just maybe best just to ask. All right. Huge order. This is just a quick one. Huge order. BlackBerry. Somewhat for some reason, unknown to probably many, has bought 1 million BlackBerry 10 smartphones. Shipments start immediately. This order marks the largest ever single. Let me get there. This order marks the largest ever single purchase order in BlackBerry's history, indicating strong demand for its Z10 smartphone powered by its new BlackBerry 10 operating system. Shares jumped 8% to $15 in afternoon trading. There was a mysterious buyer. It was probably a child subsidiary.
What they didn't tell you is they're making the warehouse pay for them now.
Yes. That's right. But there you go. So there's at least 1 million BlackBerries going somewhere for some reason. Probably to will it blend?
Yeah, that's it. They've built them to make a bridge out of or something.
That's right. Melt them down for Lego. All right. Will, do you have any more stories?
I have a few, and I don't actually know where to start now. I guess we had a couple of Google stories earlier, so I reckon we might continue there a little bit, just quickly.
Why not?
Now, one thing that both myself and Glenn, at least, I don't know who else is upset about this, but they're getting rid of Google Reader.
I am upset about it.
Now, not happy, Jan, given that that's our primary RSS feed. Now, okay, there are other programs out there, but why would you get rid of it? It's not like it's a big service to maintain. On the upside, I have chosen a replacement called the Old Reader.
Oh.
And it looks like the old Google Reader. So that's why I chose it. It's very familiar in layout, very simplistic, very basic. Can be accessed directly from the website. You don't need apps. It can be accessed from a mobile. So you've got to import your RSS feeds, which isn't a big deal. You just have to wait a little while for that to happen. And then to use it, it's pretty much the same as using Google Reader. So for me, I think that's going to, at this stage, be the replacement. You do have another couple of months yet, but once it's gone, it's gone.
July 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but,
got no idea why they're getting rid of it. I thought it was a great thing. Like, I don't know. Obviously, well, there's Google saying that it's the declining usage. So obviously, it's not a great thing. So, they're not going to.
Yeah, but I mean, how hard is it to keep a service there?
Yeah.
But having said that, they got rid of Google Notebook a few years back. And they now have an app called Google Keep. If you go to, it's available in the App Store or on the Marketplace, or you can go to drive.google.com/keep. You can get to it through your Google Drive. And it's basically similar to your the old Notebook.
Notepad or whatever.
Except because it actually has a dedicated app for the Android phones. It's very, very much. It's very much like sticky notes in some respects.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm over them, so I'm not even going to look at it because I've moved on from there. Because we used to do our show notes in the notepad, and it was great. But now they closed it. We had to find something else. I found something else and stuff them. I'm not going to go back looking at that. That's a waste of my time. So,
and look, I think this is part of the problem. We've got to remember that Google offers their services for free. And at the end of the day, we're fully susceptible to their whims and, their whatever they choose to do. Does that make it right? Well, not necessarily, but,
But then at the same time, what's their end goal? Like, if they so I started using Notepad and Reader, and now I'm not because they've closed it down. So I'm not very happy. So that means, and as I've just said, like I'm not going to try their next venture, so their next product. So then that's a negative for them because then they're going to lose people, and what they want is people to try their stuff and to use their stuff. They're not going to do that if they keep just pushing things off a cliff. I think it's not right. I understand what you're saying, being free.
I mean,
but I still don't think it's right from their point of view.
In some respects, I kind of understand what they're doing. I mean, look at what they did with what was it before Plus? It was Google Wave, they knew right off the bat that was just not working. So they scrapped it and they redeveloped it effectively, and come out with Google Plus. So it seems to be they may get rid of something, but more often than not, they re-release something that tends to actually go that step further. So more often than not, they actually make up for it. But you're right. I mean, it's always been the adage, though. If you want a stable service, you pay for it.
Yeah.
You pay for Dropbox, or you pay for OneNote, or whatever Evernote, and any paid service is much less likely to play havoc. But if you don't want to use a paid service and you want to use a free service, and this includes Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Gmail, Hotmail, all these services that we take for granted, people complain every time Facebook changes their layout. But that's what they do that because because it's their layout and they can change it whenever they want. So,
yes, but it comes back to me to my argument again is that if they're going to annoy people and piss them off, well, they're going to lose the customer base, which in turn will lose their advertising eyeball revenue or whatever. So therefore, it's going to capitulate into nothing. The Notepad.
The problem is it doesn't actually work like that. So that's the problem, though. Look at Facebook as an example. Despite all their layout changes, despite all the user breaches, despite all the privacy breaches, they continue to grow at an exponential rate. So, because it's a free service, I think I don't know. For the most part, most people give them a bit of a longer leash. I
think Facebook is a little bit different, maybe because it's everyone's on it. And there's not a viable alternative. I know there's a few out there, but none of them have got 750 million people on it or whatever it is. Or they're over 1 billion now, aren't they?
Over a billion, I think. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's massive. But yeah, but Notepad, harmless little thing, useful. There was not another product like it, but they killed it. But anyway, we moved on. And Reader, there's heaps of them out there for mobile phones and everything, but for the desktop. But anyway, I used just to wrap this one up. Other ones that you can use, as Will mentioned, one of them. Other ones are Feedly, which is the one that I've decided I was going to use. RSS Owl and News Blur. So there you go. With the Feedly,
It's funny. I looked at Feedly and I didn't like it.
I don't. Yeah, look,
You can use Outlook, can't you?
You can. Well, you could, but I don't recommend anybody use Outlook ever
you,
for anything.
you could. So Feedly, look, I used it this week for the show notes, and I went through. Look, I didn't mind it. It's nice and tidy. It imported up until July 1. It'll import your Google Reader feeds, so it was good for me. Now, this guy Dan Lewis, a New York lawyer, started a campaign on this website. Now, I just want to bring this website to your attention. It's called change.org to save Google Reader. That had about and it realised about 54,000 supporters in about 16 hours. So good on him. But now this change.org, it's a non-profit platform funded through non-profit advertising. He's paid by human and animal rights organisations such as Amnesty International and the Humane Society to host their petitions. It has 20 million users. So demonstrating the site's effectiveness. Now this is just went off on a tangent in this actual Google Reader story. So this is why we're going there, because it was interesting. I want to go and have a look at this change it. Demonstrating this change its effectiveness. So this is change.org. PepsiCo recently removed a controversial chemical from its Gatorade drinks following concerns from consumers and an online petition on change.org started by a Mississippi teenager. So good on you. And so there you go. See another product. Google said the latest closures meant it had now pulled the plug on 70 features or services since it started streamlining its product base in 2011. 70. 7 other products and services have the
65 of those we've never heard of.
Probably not. No. We only have to go to the labs and have a look through the labs, and they
come and go.
They got a few things there, but 7 other products and services over the next few months, including its voice app for BlackBerry. Oh, I hope that $1 million contract that $1 million phone's still going. That contract's all right. All right. What else we got? You got more, Will or Shane? Shane, you got any more?
I had a couple more. Just let me have a look and see what.
Well, you get one ready, and we'll get Will's. I think Will's got another Google one. You got more Google?
Well, no.
I can do me EA one.
All right, do your EA one. Then Will can have some more.
Okay. All right, so researchers have found a vulnerability in the EA Origin gaming kind of platform. This story is courtesy of PC World. Basically, what happens is, as people who are into gaming, PC gaming, especially through EA, know, when you launch you've got 2 ways of launching your game. You can either launch it straight off the shortcut or the icon, or you can actually launch it through the EA Origin webpage. If you launch it through the icon, basically what happens apparently is it uses a URL to then launch the game through the EA Origin environment. Researchers have found that URL can actually be spoofed and then take you to another web page that can obviously do malicious things to your computer. The way around that at the moment, until they fix the problem, is to actually log into the web environment and run the game from the actual web environment itself. It works with games like, well, the vulnerability has been found on games like Crysis 3, and I would imagine it also doesn't mention them specifically, but I would imagine it to be things like Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty and all those the more recent popular kind of games. The bigger games would have this problem.
So I thought EA, they had another issue. Was it this week? And then they decided to give away a game. Did you hear about that? I haven't got the details on that, so I'm probably just...
No, this story refers to a similar problem by, what's that other mob called? Steam. Steam had a similar issue, and I think this actually goes on to sort of say that this particular problem would actually also affect other services like Steam, because they all kind of work in a similar way. They use this URL to go from the shortcut that's on your desktop into the actual environment to rev the game up.
Right, okay, right. Cool. All right, Will.
I've got a few. I can condense some of these down pretty quickly. NBN rollout delayed by 3 months, so there you go.
That's condensed.
So basically they're saying it's a short-term issue and it doesn't affect our forecast for June 2021 because they're able to predict so far into the future because they know exactly idiots. So yeah. We all know Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Speaking of Amazon earlier, he, after a 2-year mission, has discovered the Apollo 11 engines that were jettisoned, the rockets. Yeah. They found them at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, right. Or if you actually read it and quite directly, it's the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
What's the Ocean?
Somebody can't type. But yeah, the tech billionaire made it his personal mission in 2012 to find and recover the engines. After 3 weeks, a deep sea robot has found them. So it's a year and a half in the planning, or a year in the planning, and 3 weeks of actual work. They found a heap of it. They found the engines that they actually jettisoned. They found other bits and pieces because it was all made of stainless, so it's still in pretty good nick.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of metals that they've found. It's 4,200 meters beneath the surface.
So that's been down there, 40 years or something?
Yeah, however long that's been. Something like that.
Yeah, right.
And they're in the pictures of that they have of them are actually in really good nick. It's really surprising actually how good the quality of these things after being down there for so long. Yeah. They're in huge detail. You can still see all the pipework that ran off the side of them.
What's it made out of?
Well, it'd be stainless because of the heat, so it'd have to be aviation grade stainless.
That looks pretty good. That looks in real good nick. Considering. Yeah, right.
Yeah, considering. I mean, if you look, it was actually buried. That's they discovered it and it was buried. So all that was sticking out was the actual booster.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was buried. But you can see in that shot there, you can see all the molten metal that followed it down.
And what's he going to do with it?
They're going to restore them back to not functioning obviously, but back to a condition where you can look at it and know what it is. And they're going to donate it to place them on public display at NASA, I believe. So.
Wow.
They're the.
So how do they know that particular one came from Apollo 11 and not one of the others that took off?
Because they would have known where they got jettisoned, and that's how they would have been able to track them a fair way down. And I think the rocket, this is because they're a Saturn V first stage engine. So obviously every time they sent a rocket up, they had different technological advances with the engine, so they'll be able to know what they look like, So, but I mean, even if it's not that one, which I mean it would be, but even if it's one from 2 or 3 later than that, it's still a pretty amazing find.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty, just quickly too, Kogan. We were talking about Kogan Mobile a couple of weeks back, talking about Audi Mobile last week. Kogan is in trouble because they're in breach of the telecommunications code because it's been kicking customers off its prepaid mobile unlimited service for using their phones too much.
Oh, dear.
So as of March 1st last year, telcos were required to make changes basically, and Kogan's fees policy was changed last week to stipulate that customers could not use more than 400 meg of data, but it doesn't say anything about the actual...
So is this on an unlimited plan or something?
Unlimited voice, 6 gig data, for example.
Why do they do it?
One of the guys I was talking to said that this pensioner, he makes a lot of phone calls. He's got a 2G phone, so he doesn't use the internet. He doesn't send text messages. He talks to his girlfriend or whatever it is long distance. So he's on the phone for quite a lot. But they said that he was told to disconnect it because they don't believe he's using it for personal use. They believe he's using it for business use, which is against their policy, but he isn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But he said, ironically, when he rang Kogan, he was on hold for 2 hours. Now, they sent me a letter saying I'm using my phone too much, and yet they make me wait 2 hours to answer the call.
That's right, because I remember when we did that story when he started up. I think those phone plans included free calls to the 1300s as well. So, he'd be racking up a nice bill. Now, Ruslan Kogan, is that his name? Ruslan or something like that?
Yeah,
he was on the ABC Q&A a couple of weeks back. So if you're interested in having a look, see what he looks like, and having to hear what his view is on a couple of things, Q&A a couple of weeks ago, have a look for that. Now, and just getting back to my story, which I didn't know much about before, was that EA giveaway that I was talking about. I found some info on that. This is what I read. This is something similar to what I read through the week. So EA has revealed the list of 8 Origin games that will be offered to owners of SimCity for free by way of an apology for the game's teething issues. So last week, the company apologised for the continuing connection and server issues players were experiencing, stated that everyone who registers the game before March 25, we still got some time, will be allowed to choose one Origin game from the list of eligible titles to download for free. So there you go. So that actual story won't be in the show notes, but it is on the au.ign.com site. And I don't know, you just have to Google around, search around there. Just, what's it called? EA reveals free SimCity apology games. Okay. Now, I've got a couple more. Will, did you have any more?
One last quick one. It's kind of tech related because it's the mining sector. There is a website called I've just complete. Where's the website gone? All right, InfoMine. And what it is, if you want to apply for mining jobs and things like that, you go there, you search for whatever, admin or whatever you want to search for, and you can do it that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they vet their positions very well, because here's a position for a receptionist. The qualifications: female, single, max 25 years old.
Right.
Good looking, energetic, highly motivated.
Who was talking about sexism before? This is
so-
ageism. Good lookism.
So as long as you're a female, single, and age 25 and good looking, you'll be fine.
Love it.
That's a job that's based in an Asian country, though, isn't it?
Well, what I was going to say is, with further investigation, it turns out what it was a position in Jakarta. So obviously English isn't their first language. But because in the position it actually says fluent in English, speaking and writing a must. So obviously they need somebody to write their ads. The problem is it was posted from a third-party website, and because they're registered with InfoMine, InfoMine doesn't vet third-party registrations. So basically I'm pretty sure that they will change that now, because it's got the publicity.
But as soon as they got told about it, though, didn't they?
They pulled it, but it was up there for a couple of weeks before anybody sort of noticed it. So, and the odd part is nobody had applied for the job.
Well, what does that tell you? Unfortunately.
So,
all right. Well, I think you might have another one, but I've got a quick one just to squeeze in there. No, this is. I won't go into this too much. It is probably a lengthy sort of in-depthy sort of a one, but you can check it out if you want later on. But NATO releases how-to guide for cyber warfare. Pretty much, they've released a guide for in times of war, what you can and can't do. What your government can and can't do. The final version of this NATO document, expected to shape cyber warfare policy among Western nations, was published last week. Edited and published by the Cooperative Cyber Defence Centre of Excellence. Well, the CCDCOE, set up in Estonia in 2008. It's taken them a while to write that, hasn't it? And it's only 215 pages. Geez, I wonder how much they stretched that for. 20 legal experts worked on the manual for 3 years. There you go, for 215 pages. Jeez, lots of cups of tea. Now, attacks on critical civilian infrastructure, nuclear power plants, hospitals, dams, and similar, are all out of bounds for cyber warfare. The CCDCOE is careful to note that the manual is not an official document. So 3 years, 215 pages, not an official document, but instead an expression of opinions of a group of independent experts who got paid rather nicely, I would imagine, acting solely in their personal capacity and obviously just wanted to hear their own voice. As such, the manual does not reflect official NATO doctrine. What a waste of time that was. So, yeah, Will, moving on.
Yeah, they're good, aren't
They are good.
they? It took them 2 years and 11 months to come up with the name.
Well,
That's what held them up. See,
yeah, that's right. That sounds fair and reasonable.
whatever happened to get the old Dungeons and Dragons dice out and roll them and come up with 6862 or something?
Hell, I don't know. Yeah, and those 215 pages were double spaced.
Extra large font, double spaced, double lined.
That's right. With the big first letter of each paragraph capitalised and all that sort of stuff.
That's
it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, just quickly too on the NBN. The other story I wanted to add with that was the NBN chairman Harris Young resigns. So the chairman of the NBN resigned, and Siobhan McKenna, she is currently the Network 10 Holdings Director, has been confirmed as the replacement.
Nice.
So that's, great.
Good.
Because, Channel 10's on the ball with technology. So,
And
that'll work out well.
That's right. Oh, well, they're into Z-Box. That must have been what got her the job. Oh, introduce Z-Box to Channel 10. You've got the job.
They misheard her, see, that's what it was.
That's right. All right, now someone's got a birthday or something has a birthday. And, there's been 2 birthdays this week. First of all, happy birthday to Garth this week. But the other birthday I was going to mention now is Twitter.
And Milo.
And Milo, yes.
Milo's birthday today.
Good on you, Milo. Good on you, Garth. And good on you, Twitter. Have a guess how old Twitter is.
7.
Yes, but you knew. Twitter celebrates.
That was a complete guess.
Twitter celebrates its 7th birthday today with 200 million users worldwide, and now send on average of 400 million short messages or tweets every day. It took 3 years, 2 months, and 1 day for the first billionth tweet to be sent. And of Twitter's global users, 60% check the service on their phones. Yeah, I do. I do both.
Yeah.
Some 40, and I'm still not happy about TweetDeck going to go to God. Some 40%, are they reading Google's manual or something? Some 40% of Twitter users choose not to write any tweets themselves, but use the platform to follow news and interests. There you go.
I've been seeing on Twitter a lot of hashtags, and actually, speaking of hashtags, Facebook's supposed to be introducing them soon, so that'll be cool. But I've been seeing a lot of, first world problems on Twitter as a hashtag. And I just realised, I know how old Twitter is, but I have a hard time remembering how old I am. Does that classify as a first world problem?
That classifies as early onset Alzheimer's. So you better watch it. You got to use your left brain more. Learn a different language, they reckon. Learn French. I
haven't got around to learning English yet.
Now, Canadian, I don't know if you saw this, but I'll do this one fast as well. Canadian man wants to sell his house for a Bitcoin virtual currency. This entrepreneur, Taylor Moore, lists his 2-bedroom Alberta bungalow asking for 405,000 Canadian dollars, or equivalent in Bitcoins. Bitcoins are now a widely used alternative payment system. I don't know about how wide they are, and Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin is currently worth $54, or roundabouts. Bitcoins
wow, really?
Apparently,
I'll have to cash mine in.
Have you got some?
Yeah, I've got about 100 of them.
Yeah, right.
They were worth like nothing when I got them, or when it first started. And I actually am logging into the website now, and I can't even remember my username or anything.
Oh, they reckon if you don't, you're gone. You're finished. But like, what's the point? I guess it's like barter card and barter dollars. But I mean, as this guy says, he goes later on in this story to say Bitcoins are really hard to get your hands on if you want to get them in large quantities. This Mr. Moore told the BBC. So my question is, so he goes, they're really hard to come by, but he wants to sell his house for it.
Well, you can buy them.
I didn't think you could. I thought you had to do equations.
You can do mining, or you can do a few different ways of doing it, but you can also buy them. I mean, obviously you have to buy them for people who are selling them, but that's how it works. Basically, Bitcoin, it's a digital currency, and it's non-centralized and non-bank based. So it uses peer-to-peer to operate, and it pretty much when the transactions are carried out, they're carried out network-wide, not just locally. So everything you do affects everything in the marketplace. And a lot of the open source people are starting to use it for payment. Because it's not a bank, it's not centralized. It's much more robust and much less likely to crash.
So they first appeared in 2009. I'll just quickly, I didn't want this to take up too much time, but people generate or mine bitcoins by participating in the network, for instance, by solving a complicated mathematical problem. But I mean, so is there only forever and a day a set amount of bitcoins, or do they just make more up? Because that would drive the value down.
No, because then you'd have inflation. There's a set amount, but there's a set amount in much the same way there's a set amount of gold. So there's always some entering the marketplace. There's always some leaving the marketplace. There's some getting smelted and changed and transmogrified into something else. There's some more pure stuff coming in. There's stuff that's not pure coming that gets converted. So transmogrified.
Yeah.
So basically, it in the end it all balances out, because say our currency through our banks are based on gold. If suddenly somebody finds a mountainside full of gold, or mining techniques change, and they can suddenly get their hands on massive amounts of gold, well, our currency will collapse because it's based on gold. That's much the same way in bitcoins, but because it's digital, the algorithms are much less likely to generate huge gluts of the coins. So there's always some coming in, always some going out, but there's always enough to keep demand high, but there's always just enough to keep demand high, but there's also just enough that if you need to get it, you can always get it.
How do you sell them for real money?
Well, the same way you would trade and sell with anything.
Yeah, okay. So what you could say?
I don't know. I haven't actually purchased any, or I haven't sold any. I did mining for a while. And mining in this respect is literally just leaving your computer running on a web page that randomly crunches through data until it stumbles across a Bitcoin.
Yeah, geez. So who put so is it a specified web page? So someone's put a Bitcoin in there?
Well, you can go to bitcoin.org, is where you can learn about it.
Yeah, I might do that.
But it's a neat idea. It goes back quite a long way in its conception. I think I heard about it about probably 5 years ago was when I heard about it. There's things like there's a hard limit of around 21 million Bitcoins, but as I said, because they come and go, sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. If there's less, your coin value goes up a bit. If there's more, it goes down a bit. So,
So wasn't it some intention to be kind of like a unifying world currency kind of thing?
Yeah, it becomes a digital currency, but as I said, because it's not based in one country and because it's not based on a physical building, there's no reason to have, there's no reason you can't have it being completely, it's not locally based. It's based worldwide. So instead of paying, $10 in the States and, $9 here and $11 in Japan, you'll pay $10 everywhere.
All right. Well, we'll go on to bitcoin.org and we'll all have a look at that. So we've got to get out of here. We've been running way over time this week. It's been a big show. Big. All right. So unless you got nothing really important, Will? You finished?
No, I think that's there's surprisingly a large amount of news this week, which was a change.
There was.
I think we covered the major stuff.
And Shane, you got nothing else? Nothing more urgently you need to exhume from your person? That'd be-
No, not during the show. No.
All right, so that about does bring us to the end of the show. If you want to contact us, it's Glenn, Will, Eric, or Shane at aussietechheads.com.au. You can even call Garth. Write to Garth at aussietechheads.com.au. Don't forget the webpage. Don't forget the radio. Aussie Tech Heads. So easier if you just get on your mobile, download a Shoutcast app, just in the App Store or Play Store. Download a Shoutcast app. Search for Aussie Tech Heads. Space it out. So Aussie, one word. Tech, Tech Head with space, not English. And you'll come across our channel. Jump in there. There's a couple of shows already in there, so our show gets into the mix. The Tech Webcast gets into the mix. There's a show from New Zealand gets into the mix. The Geek Sphere. There's a new one from New Zealand coming online into the mix soon. And also Garth's got some blind tech demo casts, I think he calls them. So they're handy. So if you want to learn how to use your iPhone or your Mac or your iPad and without using the screen, like without seeing the screen, you want to do it in the dark or something, go and have a listen to those. And I think that's about it. So you can contact... What are you laughing at? You can contact Twitter, me at Aussie Tech Heads, Shane at Shane with a Y 1973, Will at Mr. Tompkinson, Eric at Eric Franco with a K. And don't forget the Runtastic Thingo competition if you want to win an unlock code for the pro version. We'll be giving away another one. Tweet anything with hashtag Runtastic in it. All right? You got that, all that? Good stuff. Well, I think that just about brings us to the end. Oh, and a tip, if you're ever looking for business cards, look, I got these in 2 days. Can you imagine that? In 2 days, I got a couple, and this is not an ad. I'm just happy with the service. Clickbusinesscards.com. And at the moment, if you want 250 for free, only pay for postage, so that's $8. Okay? $8, you get 250 cards. And they've got the special coating on them. They feel really nice and lovely. And look at the quality on that. Look at that. That's my little new one. There you go. So if you're looking for business cards, give them a go. Clickbusinesscards.com. Yeah, very happy. You design it yourself, online with a template, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You know what to do. All right. So that's it. So I think I've mentioned everything. Have I? Good. All right. See you next week. See you, Shane. See you, Will.
See you later.
See you next week. Ta-da.